the baseline is it's better to be an employee in Sweden than in Ghana. You get that?
That's not what I said, but okay.
I mean, you get that. If you don't get it,
that's
forget about it. Okay, let's do it. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. Never mind that.
Let me do the intro for you.
Yeah, okay. Do.
Hi guys, my name is Gigi and welcome to Genius's channel.
Do you remember Gigi? Do you remember Gigi from a year plus ago? Check out this video. Where?
It should be somehow on top of my head. I don't know.
Yeah. You just find a link. You will see an interview I did with Gigi over a year ago. Gigi was just 4 months old in Sweden when we did this, when we had this chat. And then I asked Gigi, what do you think about Sweden? How is life in Sweden? And Gigi said, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is this is this, this is this.
Complained the whole video.
Not the whole video, but Gigi complained a lot about Sweden. Sweden is cold, the banking system is this is slow, people are not nice, this. Now Gigi has been in Sweden for 2 years, almost 2 years. And we are back again to ask Gigi, how is life in Sweden? Gigi is from Ghana. She's a Ghanaian beautiful lady. I wanted to say single and searching. But I remember that some people will arrest me if I say single and searching.
I'm not single. I'm anything but single. Carry on.
She's never single, you know, but you can always apply through me. That's by the way. Gigi,
would they pay for the application?
That's my business.
I mean,
that's my business. I'm the person being the.
You're using my name.
No.
So if they will pay for the application.
No, you are the one that will pay for my services. I'm bringing you choices.
Yeah, mad.
Different choices.
I need choices. I'm okay where I am.
You know, it's good to have choices. So guys, this is Gigi. Gigi has been living in Sweden for 2 years, close to 2 years or thereabout. And Gigi is in love with Sweden. So what we hear from Gigi, what Gigi thinks about Sweden after living here for 2 years. Remember what I told you, we've done a video before when she was just 4 months old in Sweden and she didn't say lots of nice things. So let's see if anything has changed after such a long time. So now she's almost a Swede, almost a Swede. When will you become a Swedish citizen? So Gigi, tell us, when we did our first interview, Gigi was studying marketing. She was a student of Stockholm University studying marketing. Now Gigi is a full-blown graduate. And Gigi is working for international organizations, traveling around the world, but still based in Stockholm, Sweden. I want to find out, Gigi, how did you do it? How did you land the job? How are you enjoying Stockholm? How are you enjoying Sweden? You heard about Ghanaians that want to move to Sweden. What do you tell them? How do you see people in Stockholm in Sweden? Gigi, share your experiences with us. So let's go over to Gigi. Over to you.
Okay, so you've asked a lot of questions. I need to process, but
okay, let's start with you finishing school.
Yes, let's start with that. So I finished school in June of this year. Yay! You're not clapping for me.
Oh.
And you should put the clapping effects. But I finished school in June of this year, and before me finishing school, let's go back and talk about what I think of Sweden now.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So a year ago when we shot the first video, I wasn't really liking Sweden. A year and a couple of months later, I don't know if I'm still really liking the place, but no, that's the truth. But here's the thing. In terms of what the place is like, I will be honest with you, I definitely prefer Sweden a lot more now, especially since, summer was warm and everything. Sweden is a nice place. It can be nice, but it's still a very...
It can be nice?
It can be nice.
So it chooses not to be nice?
No, it can be nice. Generally, it's but it can be a nice place. But in terms of Swedish people, I've met my fair share this year, and I'll say that.
What do you mean?
So I did an internship just before school. No, just after school was done. I interned with a PR company for 2 months, and the story to my getting that internship is actually very interesting. I won't tell you the story on this channel. I know you're going to ask. I won't tell you that story.
I mean, we want to know. We want to
I
know
already
the
told
story.
it once on my Instagram, so I'm not going to tell you that story here. But
I'll add up her Instagram. Everyone go and follow her.
So I got my internship in the most unorthodox way, and a lot of people were very stunned as to, you know, me being able to pull an internship off the street. And this is coming.
Tell us the story. I know the story, but you didn't
I will
want to
tell
hear
the
the
story.
story.
Here's what I'm going to tell. The story of getting a job in Sweden, because a lot of people want to know that. I think we are all over the place. So let me start. First, last year, Sweden was whatever I was. Now, fast forward this year, road to getting a job. Now, if you're moving here as a student, you're probably thinking, oh, when I come, will I be able to work, blah, blah, blah. In terms of that, it can be difficult. And in my personal experience, I lived here for a year and a half before I got my first job. And that job, my first job in Sweden, and that job was, you know, by virtue of this guy here. He got a job, and he was going to, he got a job, and he said, oh, I start work on Monday. This was on a Friday evening. He said, I start work on Monday, and he had told me about the job, and I was like, you know what, maybe Monday I'll go with you. Can you ask your new boss and see if they're looking for more people to hire? And then
just say it the way it is. I gave Gigi her first job.
The video was going in and out, but anyway.
I gave Gigi her first job.
No, you didn't.
Just say it the way it is.
You didn't give me my first job.
Okay.
I pressed on your first job offer to get my first job.
I gave Gigi a job. And while she was doing the job I gave her, okay, I connected Gigi to an employer and she got a job in Stockholm, Sweden.
Yes, and that was my first job here.
Thanks to Genius.
I already said that once, but thanks
to
Genius.
They didn't hear that.
Thanks to Genius, I got my first job here after a year and a half of searching. So while I was doing this job that Genius helped me find, because he wants me to keep giving him props. So this job that Genius helped me find. While I was doing that job, I happened to run into who my new employer was going to be. I run into this lovely lady, and I didn't demand, but I asked very nicely. I was like, oh, hey, you know, you look like you work in PR. I work in PR, or at least that's what I should be doing. So in case your company is looking to hire. And on the spot...
I mean, this channel is for lifestyle, not to advertise.
I'm not advertising.
You have to pay me if you want to do adverts.
I'm not advertising.
I'm the latest YouTuber in town.
I'm trying to teach them how to find a job in Sweden.
And let's deal with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to teach them. That sometimes applying through the normal routes doesn't work. Sometimes you literally need to walk into the company that you want to work with and drop your CV. Ask for an internship. It happens. It happened to me. So I did that internship for 2 months. And then after that, a job I'd applied for in February, I got news that I'd been selected for the job. So now I have a role with a multinational company that's not based in Sweden, but then it allows me to stay in Sweden and still work remotely. So that answers the question of what life after school has been like for me. What's your next question?
So let's talk about this job a bit. You got a job by just approaching a stranger in the street?
Yes.
Boldly asking the stranger, do you have a job for me?
No, so what I did was I walked up to her, and so I profiled her, and I work in marketing, comms, and PR. So part of my work is, you know, customer personas, understanding customers, that kind of thing. So I looked at her and I profiled her in my mind, and I thought to myself, this person looks like they work with a PR company, or like they work in fashion marketing. So let me just go talk to her, you know, anything can happen. And around the time I was preparing for my event, the Art of African Fashion.
Yeah, so, Gigi celebration. Gigi pulled out a massive event in Stockholm, Sweden, with my help.
This one I won't let you take credit for because this had nothing to do with you. This event had nothing to do with you.
We have to. Let's take it a step at a time. Give me credit. You've given me the credit to the first job you got.
Exactly.
Then while doing the job that I helped you get, you met a stranger, walked up to this stranger, and you landed the second job.
Exactly.
And tell us how you did that second part. Then we'll go to the third part, which is the event you pulled off.
But the event happened before I got my internship.
Oh.
Yes.
But let's still go back, then we'll come back again.
Okay.
So let's deal with job. People want to know, how can you get a job while in Sweden, while in Stockholm? What can you do differently?
So Genius, to answer your question, let's start from this job. We've already spoken about the job that I found with your help. Yeah. This is the last time I'm going to say it, with your help.
Please sound it clearly. Gigi got a job through Genius.
Genius, I will get
in Stockholm, Sweden.
Look, I will get So that was the first job I found, and just around the time I found this job, I had just thought to myself, I had reached a very frustrating point. I wanted to leave Sweden, and I said to myself that, you know what, if I keep applying for jobs and I'm not getting the opportunities, if Mohammed won't go to the mountain will come to Mohammed. So I decided that I was going to have my own event, right? And in this event, I was going to celebrate and push African luxury designers, introduce them to the Swedish market, which is exactly what I did. That's a story for another day. If Genius invites me again, I will tell you that story.
In next 1 year, I'll invite you.
in a year, exactly.
But it was massive, actually. Gigi pulled off a fashion event. I don't know how the languages you use in this industry.
Don't worry, if you say anything wrong, I'll correct you.
But it was cool. Brought in few fashion designers and fashion accessories from all the way from Nigeria, Ghana,
Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa.
Flew distance, flew people and materials down to Stockholm and pulled off a fashion event, not a fashion show, but kind of
more like a presentation, just showing the clothes that
was really cool,
and giving people a chance to interact with the clothes, ask questions about the designers, ask questions about the kind of brands that exist in Africa, the materials that go into the making. So that was the concept of the event. And because I was planning this event, and it's all was investing my time and my money in, I was also looking out for people who could help me promote the event, which is why when we're working one day, like there was a particular week we're working in like a fashionista zone of Stockholm, Östermalm. That's where the rich people hang out, the fashionable people hang out, that kind of thing. We were working this, and I said to myself that week that I'm going to walk up to anyone that I think looks like they work in industry and ask for help. I'm going to ask for contacts. I'm going to ask for people to attend the event because I really just wanted the event to succeed. So it was in walking up to one of these people that I told her who I am, what I do, and she liked me, like, on the spot. And so when
I said in the streets of Stockholm.
Yeah, this is in,
and this with a stranger.
This is actually in front of Stureplan Gallerian. So when I spoke to her, and I just said to her, okay, can I have your email? I'll send you my CV in case your company is hiring. You can just like reach out to me. And what she said to me was on the spot. She was like, would you like a summer internship? And I said yes. And that's how I got my summer internship.
Paid internship, right? Yes,
it was a paid internship.
Well-paid internship.
It was a paid internship working for one of the country's top marketing communications firms. So then after that, when that was almost done, then I heard from a company that I'd applied to earlier in the year. And they said, oh, Gigi would like you to come work with us. And that's what I do now. I'm a consultant for the World Bank. So I sit in Stockholm, but I work remotely for the World Bank. I know you wanted me to say it, so now I've said it. So that's what
Gigi working for the World Bank. I'm a consultant with the World Bank. See how she's bragging.
I'm not bragging. How's this bragging?
Tell us, I want to work with World Bank too. How do I get World Bank job?
Honestly, I don't know. You just need to apply, and it takes a while to go through the process. Like after you do your application, it's a waiting game because I applied in February. I only got hired in July, but then between February and July, I wrote an aptitude test. I was interviewed by different managers. So then it's quite a process. It's not like one and done. You know, you don't apply in January and hear back in January that you've gotten the job. You have to go through a process. So if you see any opportunities that you like, just apply. That's all I can say.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice doing business with you. So guys, but did you notice anything with Gigi from the previous video we did 1 year ago? Look very well. Look at Gigi from head to toe. Did you notice any changes, anything?
They haven't noticed anything, my guy.
Just look at Gigi again.
What do you want them to notice?
A year ago, Gigi didn't look this way.
I looked almost the same. I was wearing a jacket and a t-shirt and jeans. This time I'm not wearing
I have
jeans.
to go check the video again myself.
I remember.
But there's one significant thing that changed.
Tell them what has changed.
Her head wasn't this big. Okay, a year ago, Gigi had her long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly she woke up and decided to shave off the hair. And I'm wondering, why did you do it? I mean, I know it looks so good on you. Apart from that, okay, maybe
I was bored.
Look cuts looks good on you. Apart from that,
I was bored. That's the first thing. I was bored with my hair. The second thing is doing your hair in Sweden can be quite expensive. So then since I moved, most of my braids, almost every time you saw me in braids or something, my hair,
know why.
I'll do it myself. And I got tired because it's a whole weekend's affair. You know, look.
I don't believe it's because it's expensive. I don't believe it's because it's expensive. Because Gigi makes her hair in the most luxurious salon you can think of in Stockholm.
How many salons have you had me go to?
Gigi to wash her hair will spend 100 euros just to wash her hair.
Mad. Me, 100 euros to wash my hair.
You know the one that told me you went to? It's not. What was retouching of hair? Is it not washing of hair?
It's not the same thing, and I didn't go and retouch my hair.
What did you
I
do?
went to do a texture release.
Whatever you did, but she
I
spent.
had to do a protein treatment and a texture release. Those things are expensive, no matter which part of the world you're on. I had to treat my hair, and after I did the treatment, I realized, oh, maybe I want to cut my hair, and I cut my hair.
I think I want
that's
to do
the first
protein
time.
treatment too.
Before that, that's the first time I'd actually been in a salon since I moved to Sweden. The day I went with you.
Really?
So since then, every time you see my hair, it's me. Apart from when I went to Ghana and I got the braids, every other thing you saw was me.
I need to do a protein treatment too. Gigi had this long hair. She decided to cut her hair low. I mean, it looks good on you. That's great. I mean, you know what fits you. But she's telling us it's not because it looks good on her. She's telling us rather it's because it's expensive. But Gigi works with World Bank. World Bank. Like the World Bank. Literally, World Bank. I mean, the bank of the world. So I mean, I need to understand, is it that Sweden is super expensive or Stockholm particularly is expensive to live in? I mean, it's better to be on a low cut to save costs. I mean, let it make sense to me.
Okay, I'll try my best. So Sweden in general is an expensive place, especially when you're coming from Africa, right? And I cut my hair before I got my job, just so that you know. I cut my hair before I got my job. It doesn't mean that suddenly I'm going to grow it back out and be doing all these fanciful things, but it was more of time because then I was doing my hair myself, and it's a whole weekend affair. And I think the part that killed me the most was not the braiding off, but after you braid, the removing the hair. You know, in Ghana, you just go and sit in the salon and somebody else will do it for you. But
yeah,
like the fact that I suffered to braid it and I have to take it off was just too much. But onto your question about Stockholm being expensive and Sweden being expensive. Stockholm is a very expensive place.
Compared to.
That's
Are you comparing to Ghana or you're comparing to other European
Oh no,
states?
right now Ghana is behaving like an European country, so let's not even compare. Like Ghana's become expensive, let's not compare. But that's a good question. Compared to what? Okay.
Stockholm is expensive. Stockholm is expensive.
No. I have something to compare to. Compare to a place like Greece, because I've been to Greece, right? And just the little I learned of the place while I was there. I mean, certain things are standardized in pricing, but then just a little I learned about the country. Stockholm is a tad more expensive than other European countries that you'd be to. European countries in general, expensive. Stockholm, unique case. certain things are costly. Genius, help me. Like rent. Rent. Like you and this is after having to move out of, student accommodation. Because when you're a student and you're coming here, you can apply for student accommodation. It's subsidized. It's a fraction of what you actually be paying when you live alone. But then once you're not a student anymore, you have to move. And you have two choices. You either wait until your student association is actually kicking you out and telling you to get out, or you get ahead of the system and you move. I have moved, before you bring it up, I have moved out. And the reason I moved out before we got the notification to move was because it takes a while to find accommodation in Stockholm. And I didn't want to have that last minute pressure on me where, it's a scramble. Everybody has received the notification, so now everybody's looking. And I wanted to relieve myself of that pressure. So I moved. I took advantage of that rent-free June, July thing. And then I moved at the end of the summer. But that's one thing that's expensive, for instance, rent. And then food can be expensive depending on where you're eating from. I don't know how to explain it. Like, honestly, you have to be here to ask anybody who lives here. It's an expensive city.
Okay, now let's take it from the perspective of
the Burna Boy concert. I bought a ticket for Burna Boy today. Do you know what the ticket is? It's 890 krona to see Burna Boy. Can you imagine?
She's a fan of Burna Boy. Nigerians, Burna Boy is making us proud. You know Burna Boy, right? The Grammy Award winner
who
from.
Doesn't? Hey, who doesn't know?
No. There are some persons who might not know.
I have a video of my white colleagues from my intention
singing. I need to know Burna Boy.
Everybody knows Burna Boy.
I mean, everybody knows Nigerian artists. Nigeria is on top of the world. Afrobeat, we take it. Okay, wait, Gigi, I want you to discuss this, how expensive Sweden is from the perspective of a Ghanaian who is somewhere in Ghana planning to move.
I got you. Let me tell you what it's like. And I might switch to my local language because now I'm speaking to Ghanaian specifically.
Right on.
Here's the thing. If you live in Ghana and your rent is, maybe you moved out of home, right? You have a stable job. You were able to save up. You moved out of home. So your rent is, I don't know, 9,000 cities a year, 10,000 a year, middle class. So your rent is about 10,000 cities a year. Now I hear Ghana is moving mad. Ekufado is doing you people so the rent might be.
Please don't go political.
No.
What are you talking?
No, your rent might be.
Your president is doing fine. Go ahead.
Is he really? Anyway, your rent might be doing at about 15, 16K in that region, right? A year. Let me tell you something. When you move here, for the student room, which is 17 square meters, your rent is about 320 euros per month. And that in today's, what's today's date? Today is the 27th, right? So as of time of filming, that is equivalent to 3,200 cities a month for a 17 square meter room. Now do the math. In Ghana, your rent, your 16,000 cities a year is giving you a 1-2 bedroom apartment with a separate kitchen and a living room and 2 sizable rooms and a bathroom. Now you're paying 3,200 cities for a room. So that's just to give you perspective of how much it could cost you to live in Stockholm, specifically Stockholm. A 1-bedroom studio could cost you like 800 euros a month, bills included, and that's a good deal. If you're in the city, you're looking at about, at its minimum, about 900 euros, and it can go all the way to 1,003. If you move outside of Stockholm, if you move to the north, for instance, you can get a 1-bedroom for 600 euros. And sorry, a 1-room,
studio apartment.
Studio apartment. Yeah, that's why I said a 1-room, not a 1-bedroom, a 1-room, like a studio apartment for that amount. So in terms of that can be like super expensive, especially when your primary source of income would be from Ghana. So prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself while coming to Sweden. Then how about those who want to come to Sweden and get a job?
No, come again. As in, you don't have a job. You've gotten.
Now, let's say I'm in Ghana. I'm in Accra, Ghana. I'm a banker, or I'm doing some jobs, and I want to move to Sweden. I want to move to Stockholm. I present my resignation letter, quit my job.
No.
I have some savings.
Don't quit your job before you find a job. Like, take it from me, take it from him, even though he's not saying it. Do not quit your job to relocate until you actually have a job offer, right? Because it will get difficult for you if you think you're going to be able to travel and then just be here wondering to find a job. Because even in terms of moving here to find a job, there's a new visa for that, right? A visa to find
a job seekers visa. Yeah.
Yes, but here's the thing: you have to prove that you have some amount of money in the bank. I think it's about 1,300 euros, like 13,000 pounds
And
per month.
They are threatening to increase it.
Exactly.
You know.
So that, let me say it in cities so that they get it. Because if I say it in cities, maybe a Nigerian can catch it and convert it to naira. You need to have 13,000 cities a month over a period of 12 months. Make that 13 to present to the visa, like in your bank statement, to show that, okay, you actually have the money to live here. And then when you move here, you go through the processes of what do you call it? Getting certificates, getting your person number, all of those
what she
things.
complained of
Exactly.
1 year ago.
Oh no, I still have complaints from Ibrahim's. Let's not even begin. I still have complaints, but you have to go through all of those processes. So by the time your 1 year is almost due, if you're not lucky, you may not have found the kind of job that you want. And don't forget that because it's a new visa, right? A lot of people might be applying, and then you are coming to come and struggle for. I'm going to say it's in tree because it makes more sense to say it's in tree.
Go ahead.
Or ejuma, right? You're going to struggle for work with people like Genius and I who live here, who just finished school, who are looking for jobs, and then people who moved here to seek asylum, who are looking for jobs. It's going to be like a struggle within so many people. So all I have to say is, it's a beautiful country. Sweden looks like a postcard. Every part of the country looks like a postcard, yes. But have a job before you move. Don't just, pack your whole life and leave Ghana or Nigeria. It doesn't work that way.
But do you advise some persons in Ghana to look for job in Sweden? I mean, so someone wants to move abroad, maybe for exposure, maybe for new experiences. Do you advise them to move, or don't do it? Just come here for vacation.
No, if you're able to find a good job, that's fine, because what I've learned over the last year is that when you move here, right, and then especially in a working environment, you make friends easier. You settle in a little better than people like us who came to school here. Especially for us because we came in a pandemic year. So we weren't going to class. It was Zoom and everything. When you come here for work, you integrate a little better. It doesn't shield you from all the underlying immigrant issues that you will face that I won't talk about, because Genius said I'm always saying negative things about Sweden. I won't say anything. It doesn't shield you from those
I didn't
things.
say that. I said she did last 1 year ago.
And this year I'm saying I won't say anything. Hey, why?
Now what? Okay, generally, is Sweden better than you had imagined?
Guy, I'm still waiting for my permit. My last permit renewal last year, I applied in August. I got the permit in May, 9 months. And the permit expired. No, that's
if
not
your permit
normal.
expires, you apply for renewal.
Exactly. But then here's the thing, I applied for my new permit in August because my old permit was expiring in November. You need to apply a few months before. You need to apply before your old permit expires. I applied for the new one in August. At the time of application, the time to decision said 4 months, which on its own is long, but I was like, 4 months, not a big deal. By the 4th month, which is when my permit was expiring, I came to Sweden to do my biometrics. But then I came back to Sweden because I was on exchange, right? So I came back to Sweden to do my biometrics, and I left. After when I was leaving Stockholm in November 2021, I still didn't have a case officer. After 4 months, there was no case officer. In January, as of January, I still didn't have a case officer. I had to come back here by getting a national visa from the embassy.
The immigration is just reviving itself from the pandemic.
Guy, these issues have been there.
There's so many applications.
These issues have been there since in September. What they said to me, no, in October, what they said was the Afghanistans are overwhelming the system now because there's so many asylum seekers. I said, no problem, I understand. People need places to go. In January, there was no excuse. They still kept saying we're overwhelmed because we have Afghan applicants. I didn't see anything. There was nothing happening. And then the minute the Russian-Ukraine war happened in February, guess what? The excuse changed to we're overwhelmed with applicants from Ukraine. So the minute the people in the country, we don't care about you. You know, we don't have officers to assign to the cases that we need to solve now. All our focus is on people who are coming in. And here's the crazy part for me. There are actually issues here, like the elections just passed. There are actually people agitating for asylum visas to be reduced, agitating for student visas to be reduced. So really, what's the excuse?
Gigi, you need to be a politician. I want to talk about jobs. You want to talk about the politics.
No, I don't want to talk about politics. All I'm saying is my issues with integrating as an immigrant, especially that aspect of it, you know, your resident status and all of those things. My issues from last year, my views from then haven't changed a lot in this year, especially because I've been in a situation where I've had to wait 9 months for a permit, which came and expired 4 weeks after I got it. No, 3 weeks actually after I got it. I was approved 14th May, and you know all students' visas expire by the end of the second week of June.
Yeah.
So I was approved 14th May with a permit that was going to expire on the 19th of June, and the card didn't get sent to me till the 3rd of June. Meaning that if I had to go anywhere, if there was an emergency in Ghana and I had to go home, I was stuck here.
Well, we're all facing every migrant in Sweden is facing 1 or 2 immigration cases, so it's not unique to Gigi.
One of our friends applied for the permit renewal that we just did. One of our friends applied for the same permit. She applied in July. She applied for her new permit in July. She's been approved. She needs to go do biometrics.
Yeah, I have a friend who has gotten card.
Yeah.
Like, has gotten the card.
Yeah.
But some persons have not gotten a case officer assigned.
I don't have a case officer. I called last week.
Well,
you don't have a case officer at work. I can put it.
Let's talk about jobs.
We've already spoken about jobs.
Wait, I want to ask something. When it comes to the working environment in Ghana and the working environment in Sweden, I mean, being a staff in Ghana, being a staff in Sweden of a company, how does it work in both places? How is the work culture? How is the life balance?
For me personally, the biggest change is the language, because then in Ghana we all speak English in like the office, but then here, as much as everybody speaks English, there's certain meetings that will be had in Swedish. And then somebody will have to prompt the speaker to remind them that you don't speak Swedish, and they have to switch for you. So that was the biggest difference. In terms of work-life balance, there's more of a balance here, I find, because, I mean, it's PR, so then you have to work certain weekends because there's a client event that you're hosting or that kind of thing, or you have to work late into the night sometimes. But apart from those peculiar times where there are actual events that are causing you to work, you know, at certain times, outside of that, there's a clear separation between your personal life and work, in that nobody's really going to be bombarding you with work after you close. And when they send you...
That happens in Ghana?
We don't sleep.
But I mean, you don't sleep, but is that equal to the money you get in Ghana?
No.
Well, we need to sue the government, the employers, and everybody in Ghana if there's no work-life balance and harmony.
The thing is, there should be work-life balance, but there's a lot. Also, this is peculiar to certain industries. The industry I work in, we're always working around the clock. Like,
but do you work for extra cash? That's what I'm asking.
Do you have time to work for extra cash?
I mean,
is there overtime?
Overtime and stuff like that.
In some companies, you have overtime, depending on the kind of company that you're working in. In some companies, you have overtime. In some companies, you have bonuses. In other companies, they just don't care.
So
your salary is your salary.
The baseline is it's better to be an employee in Sweden than in Ghana. You get that?
That's not what I said, but okay.
I mean, you get that. If you don't get it, forget about it. Okay, Gigi, thank you very much for being part of us today.
You're welcome.
Enjoy yourself. Please subscribe.